Welcome back to Talking Shop with ShopSaver. In this podcast, we like to tackle the CNC industry specifically and really talk a little bit about business in general. Hopefully, you'll find some entertainment throughout it and hopefully some education. But the next episode starts right now. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Talking Shop. I am your host, Brandon Bombardo. I am here with Nick Peters.
What's going on, man?
Oh, I got something stuck in my tooth right now. It's driving me nuts.
It's unfortunate.
I think it's a seed from a raspberry.
The raspberries taste like raspberries.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries. So as you guys all know, each week we try to keep you guys entertained while entertaining ourselves a little bit along the way, talk a little bit about the CNC industry and whatnot. And today we're on episode 156, and we're going to talk about a bunch of pretty cool stuff, I thought. We got Mindset Reset today we're going to talk a little bit about. I'm pretty excited about that. And then we're going to jump into The Internet is Broken, one of my favorite. And then we'll do the customer questions and comments.
Got a lot of them today.
We got a few of them. And then we got Motivational Quote of the Week, followed by the question for you, the audience. And then we'll give you our final thoughts, which by then you're probably sleeping or don't care anymore, and you're going to be gone. So
Hopefully not.
should we do that today?
Try to get him to hang with us through the whole thing.
Let's do it.
It's a great idea.
Reed Timmer coming to Minnesota. You told me.
I've heard it's true. I haven't watched the video yet, but he was...
Hold on a second. I didn't hit the button. Let's start over. Hold on. Current events. There we go. I feel better now. Current
Perfect.
events.
Yeah,
Now we
don't
got
want to
it.
miss that.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, he did a big old live video earlier for like 40 minutes talking about Minnesota tomorrow,
Jeez.
what it's going to be like next week in the Dakotas.
Next week?
Well, just
Why are we so far out with these storms? Why?
because he's just like...
Where's a drought when you need
He's
one?
all in. Yeah, no doubt, right? The rivers are as high as they've ever been. It's
My yard is a river now.
unfortunate. I had water in my basement the other day that I found.
Yikes.
But thankfully, it was just a little bit. Didn't get anything wet. It'll evaporate eventually.
I didn't mean to cut you off about your Reed Timmer, but I saw
That's fine.
the Nick, what's her name? Belinda Nick?
Yeah, that.
Belinda Peters was coming out in you, and I needed to cut you off.
Yeah, that happens. It's okay.
But yeah, supposed to have some big storms tomorrow.
Yeah,
Not cool.
Gorilla hail, as he likes to call it.
Gorilla hail?
Yeah, I mean they're talking.
What the heck is a gorilla hail?
It's like the size of a baseball, maybe bigger.
Wouldn't that be called baseball size?
Oh yeah. But
Gorilla hail? I thought a gorilla was
when you
gonna
have to
fall out of
when
the
you have
sky.
to sound cool, you gotta like make
Make
it sound
up
good,
stuff?
right? Yeah, I mean that's his bit.
Sounds like a competitor talking about their machine.
Well, it'll happen.
Just lying to get you by.
You just gotta know who
Thanks a lot,
to
Reed.
believe, right?
Thanks a lot, Reed. So, large hail tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm staying inside.
Hopefully not here.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully in the middle of nowhere in the fields. I mean, not that you want people's crops to be ruined, but
Isn't it terrible?
That's better
You're
than
trying
how-
to find a good place to
But-
put the hail, and you can't think of a safe spot to put it.
it's better than somebody's house.
Right, I agree.
I mean, there's plenty of corn to go around.
I don't know if there is this year. There might not
It's
be.
all
It's all
flooded,
underwater
yeah.
right now.
It's true.
Your family comes home tomorrow.
They do.
If the hail lets them into the state.
They should be home before that,
Oh,
assuming
Nice.
assuming I have my time adjustments proper.
yeah. You don't even know what time you're picking
have
them
no
up. What are
idea.
you talking about?
They
You're
just
trying
have-
to do that. I saw you had your shoes off at your desk and you were counting earlier. So.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it all out. Just text me when you land, and I'll start my journey there.
And you're
We'll
counting
find you
through your
eventually.
fingers and then your toes, and you're like, "Hey, Travis, help me out here."
Right.
Trying to figure out the time difference.
Having Travis help you isn't the best idea either, but
Oh, that's good. Guess what I did this weekend?
kept your race car on four wheels.
I won.
Whoa.
First win with the 2024 race car. Let's go.
Nice. That's sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Finally got enough time to practice and get the brakes fixed, and
You know, when you're bad enough, you start on the front row.
that's
So I started first place. So it was basically just don't screw it up and I could win a race. So it was awesome.
Where'd you race? Way up north?
Way up north.
Way up north.
We went to Brainerd. Yeah.
Well, that's almost Canada.
We went
way up north is like Blaine. You're getting to Brainerd, you're like almost to Canada.
Get out of here.
It's almost the North Pole.
Just leave. I'm bringing Rodney on the show. I'm over you.
I hope Sean's listening to this and laugh.
Sean. I hope Sean's not listening.
That's not very nice.
Yeah, no, we won. It was awesome.
That's cool. I did see your kids chilling with the trophy on top of your car.
Well,
You jumping out looking like a unicorn.
jumping out like a unicorn.
It's hilarious. That always makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's fun. We finished one race all year long in the car and it was first, so that's good.
Well, I mean,
1 for 1 on finishes.
what about the other ones?
I didn't finish.
So how does that work? You're just going to call it 1 for 1 on wins?
Yeah.
The other ones, if you didn't finish,
Well, if you
doesn't
didn't
count?
finish the race,
Doesn't count.
doesn't count.
So your winning percentage is 100.
On finished races, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm 1 for 4.
I mean,
I have not finished 3 features.
1 out of 4 is good batting average of baseball for people. So 1 out of 4.
25%?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, not bad.
Yes.
I'll take it. You
Okay.
can't make me upset about this one. I'm happy.
I'm not trying to make you upset. I'm just trying to put the positive spin on finishing 1 out of 5 races. Or
Wait,
1 out of 4. 1 out of 4. 1 out
Come
of 4.
on, you're making my win percentage worse.
Hey, you can't let facts get in the way of a good story.
You can't let facts get in the way. But yeah, you know what we're also doing is preparing for IWF.
Yeah, that's coming up pretty quick too.
Pretty
huh?
excited about that current event. That's the International Woodworking Fair, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, in Atlanta, and in Hotlanta this year. It's always warm down there.
Yeah, too much humidity, man.
Oh, maybe we'll see Hunter.
Hunter. Maybe his new baby, his wife.
Yeah.
That'd
They
be
just
sweet.
had their baby. So for everybody listening who remembers Hunter, they had their new baby. They moved home for having the baby, and
Don't get it confused and call him Hunter.
yeah, he doesn't have a T in it.
He will very much correct you.
Yeah, it's Hunter.
It's a silent T in
It's a
his name.
silent T in his name. But yeah, so they had their baby. So congratulations to the two of them. And yeah, maybe we'll see him at IWF. I'm gonna make him come to the show.
Just a reminder, they'll be home in 24 hours.
Did she send you a
That was
message?
my notice.
That's funny. I saw your phone go off. That's funny. That's great. They have so little confidence in you, they had to send you a
It's
reminder.
like a constant reminder, yeah. She probably has like automatic text being sent every hour overnight while they're sleeping to remind me if that's a thing. I don't even know if that's a thing, but
Not yet. iOS, whatever the next one is, 18.
oh yeah, the new artificial intelligence. That's gonna
Yeah,
be
it's
sweet.
supposed to come out in this fall, and it has now on the iPhone, you can send a message and pre-schedule it. So rather than sending a message at 1 a.m. because you thought of something,
Yep.
you could say, okay, I thought of it and typed it, but send it at 7 a.m.
What if you can like set up one of your contacts like with AI and tell them like who this person is, what you don't like about them, what you do like about them, and they can just automatically reply all the time because you don't want to reply to this person, and they can just like have a conversation with somebody
I hope
based
not.
based on what you
You're
tell
just
them this
wrecking
person is.
communication. You're wrecking
Yeah, but if it's something
communication.
you don't want to talk to,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Try being a sales guy in that environment.
Well, not necessarily. Like
Fail.
Like what if you text me some morning and I just don't want to reply to you, and AI knows that
You just don't reply to me
sorry,
most
not
time.
going to be there today.
I'm sorry, I'm sick.
Really sick, as some people like to say.
That's funny. Well, I'm glad to hear that when you see a text from me, you don't want to talk to me. So that's good. Thanks. I appreciate that a lot.
Oh, we're already off the rails.
And we're already losing. We've already lost our entire audience.
I feel like everybody's still listening though, because they're wanting to know what's coming next.
We don't even know what's coming next.
I hope you do. You're running this show.
What? Who's running the show?
I
Don't
figured
put
you
me
were,
on
but-
the. Yeah, don't put me in. Don't put me there. Don't do that to me.
All right, fair enough.
All right. Well, today's topic, let's jump right into it, right? We got to do a mindset reset.
We do.
Because right now our mind is all over the place. So that's today's episode is mindset reset. And I just want to talk a little bit about like your ability to reset your mindset, right? And it's honestly for me, like I try to remind people that your mind is the most powerful tool you own. And I think a lot of people lose focus on that fact, right?
For sure.
If you believe it, a lot of times it comes true, right? Because
kinda-
you like will it into power.
So I was gonna say you will it into reality, right?
Right.
To bring it to the forefront.
So if you're thinking like you're going to fail, there's a good chance you're probably going to fail because you're kind of just like that mindset is so powerful that your energy, your aura, like everything that you're doing kind of pivots. It's like crashing in a race car. Let me tell you a little story about crashing in a race car.
If anybody knows about that,
I know a lot about this, so let me talk about it. They say like when you're spinning out or crashing in a race car, you're not supposed to look at what you don't want to hit. Because naturally, like your body is just like your hand-eye coordination, whatever you're staring at is like where the car will end up.
but
like,
are you supposed to like let go of the wheel so you don't break your arms?
well, if you're hitting something hard, yeah. But when you're trying to save it and not crash, hang on to the wheel and try to point it in a different direction.
But not go at something you don't want to hit?
Exactly. So like, as an example, you start spinning out and you see a telephone pole. Don't look at the telephone pole because you're going to drive yourself into the telephone pole. Look for the open field right next to the telephone pole. We're like, hey, if I ended up there, that'd be pretty awesome. And then you end up there.
That makes sense.
So like,
I think
it's,
I was misunderstanding. what
yeah,
you
it's
were
like
going
it's like a serious, like it's proven. Like they say that like, and obviously not every time. Like just because you look somewhere else doesn't mean you're not going to hit what you're going after. Like, there's still all of the, forms of science behind it all, right? I mean, some things, are just bound to happen. But my point being is that like if you start to think about failure, you're going to kind of like put yourself on that failure path, right?
Well, yeah, every single time, I bet.
And so the same thing being said, if you believe you're going to succeed, there's a better chance you're going to be successful because you're going to will yourself or push yourself down that path, right? You're
sure.
willing to set out to do the things that otherwise people won't do because they don't have the mindset on it.
Well, and I think if you're in kind of that negative mindset or going down a negative path, like you need to put the positive spin on it, right? And look at the positives that can come from your bad path you're going down.
Right.
Because there's always a positive you can come out of it with.
Right. Yep. And that's the thing is like, as you start to look at like where you're going, what you're doing, you know, in your business, your personal life, your relationships, like being positive about it all will always bring you to a better reality, right?
For sure.
It doesn't always solve your problems. I mean, just because I'm like, hey, I'm not going to fail doesn't mean I'm not going to fail, right? I mean, there's a chance always in the world if you don't put the work in or you don't do, you know, what's right or you make bad decisions. I mean, let's just be honest. Some people just make bad decisions in life.
Yep.
And if you make bad, you know, you can't be like, I'm not going to get caught robbing this bank and then go rob a bank. Like there's a chance you're still going to go to jail. Sorry. Like it's going to happen.
A really good chance.
There's a pretty good chance that you're probably going to jail. So don't make bad decisions. Like that's just bad decisions. No matter how much positive willpower you give, you're probably not overcoming it. But the point being is like, as you start to look at your business and you have a bad day as an example, right? We've all had bad days. We have bad days in sales once in a while. Things happen. And it's so easy to get caught up in that negative mindset. You know, I see it as sales guys. It's one of the most common things with salespeople. Whether you sell cars, you sell lawn furniture, you sell, you know, equipment, whatever. It's easy to get caught up in the fact that you had a bad day. This is where I wish I had a button for, you had a bad day. You know that song? No. Okay. Just me? All right. Sorry.
No, I was there.
But you can have a bad day and then you can move on, right? You come back to work the next day and just, if you come back with that mindset, like, you know what? Yesterday was a day, like, I'm going to rock it today. You're probably going to overcome that bad day and just push forward. But like the number one thing that causes a sales guy to fail is they have a bad day. They turn it into a bad week. A bad week turns into a month. And after the month, they're so beat up, they believe they can't do this anymore, that they just continue down that cycle for the next month, until finally they just can't get out of their own way.
Yep. It just continues to snowball.
Right.
Eventually have a giant snowman at the end of the month.
Yeah. Just a giant snowman.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is it's all preventable. That was all mindset. And like confidence is a big part of success. Having the confidence that you are, you know, as an example, again, with, I'm going to go back to racing. It's what I know, right? When I look at me racing, right? I didn't finish the feature 3 weeks in a row. It would have been super easy to get in the car the fourth night and been like, well, we're going backwards.
Right.
Like just expecting the car to be terrible. And, you know, but I went into it with the mindset like, you put me on the front row, big mistake. Like, don't put me on the front row. I'm not driving backwards. You're making this easy. I don't got to pass anybody. Like, that was my mindset. Now, is it possible that somebody could have been faster and drove right around me? Absolutely. But I wasn't going to go out with the mindset of beating myself. Right. I was like, they're going to have to beat me. I'm going to make it hard on them. I'm going to do what I control. I'm going to take care of the stuff I control and make them come after me. They've got to pass me.
Well, and eventually you have to make the realization that the past is the past for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can obviously learn from the past and make better things happen with positive reactions to those things going forward.
Do you think like in today's world, people's mindsets are kind of that everyone owes them something?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I see a lot more of that in today's world. Sure. Yeah. That people believe somebody owes them something. And in my mind, nobody owes you anything.
Right.
Like nobody owes you a thing. Like opportunity is given to you. What you do with that opportunity is really in your control.
Yep.
You know, what you do with it is your desire. And at the end of the day, if you're not going to work for it, you're going to fail. You're not going to achieve the same as, you know, in today's world, you get too many people that are like, well, he does this, so I get it too. Right? You know, it's that mindset of like, well, they make this much money, so I should make it too. Or this person, you know, it's that.
But they make that money because they worked hard to get to that point. Like,
correct.
I shouldn't just walk in and be like, okay, well, you're paying this guy to do the same amount to do the same job.
Right.
But he probably does it better than you do.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even that. It's not, he might not even do it better than you. But he's positioned himself, or she has positioned herself to utilize the resources that they have around them, right?
Yep.
So maybe they do maybe they don't do the job better than you, but they have done something to make themselves more valuable.
Yep.
And that is not the employer's responsibility. That is not anybody else's responsibility but your own. Make yourself so valuable that the company can't afford to not have you there.
Correct.
Or make yourself so valuable your customers can't afford not to buy from you. That's the ultimate, like, mindset reset, is becoming important to everybody else through value.
Well, I think you also have to not be afraid of being the important person, right? I mean, I think sometimes people feel like they're important and they take it as people may think that they're too arrogant or confident or whatever. But like, if you have the reason to believe that you're that important or that successful and you back it up,
right,
go for it. Own it.
And that's exactly, I mean, I think that's where confidence and arrogance have a fine line.
For sure.
Right? It's okay to be confident in your ability and believe in yourself.
Yep.
It's not okay to be arrogant about it and think you're better than people. Like, there is a very fine line there in the world, and I think that's what comes off of somebody owes me something kind of a thing, is when you get arrogant.
Yep.
Oh, God, don't you know who I am? I hate that phrase.
It's the worst.
People use it. Like, it kind of makes me sick when people use that phrase. But you hear it. Like, especially in the sales world, like, I hear it. People will call up and they're like, don't you know who I am? Like, no offense, but no, I don't. Like, not because I'm trying to be disrespectful. I just genuinely don't know who you are.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing that kind of blows me away, is like, if you use the don't you know who I am, or that they portray that, like, it just oozes arrogance, right? That I'm self-important.
Walk into the situation and prove yourself. Don't just think because somebody should know who you are that you automatically get what you want.
Yeah, I know, for sure. I'm a firm believer. I mean, I guess that's just the old JB mentality. He made me earn everything in my life. He wasn't going to hand me a single thing. And I think that's where my mentality of, like, nobody owes you anything is because my dad was straight up like, yeah, you're going to fail or you're going to succeed on your own. Like, not because of me, like, either fail or succeed on your own. And that's why, like, I didn't work at ShopSaver for many years, because I had to go, like, figure the real world out. And that was part of the process. Like, he wanted me to, like, live on my own and figure it out. And it definitely helps because again, I had my first job, believe it or not. I had my first job when I was like 6 years old. And it was because this is a fun story. So my dad, growing up, we'd go to the store, you go to Target, whatever, go to the store. I always wanted toys, right?
Yep.
You're a kid. Kids want toys. And my dad was like, you're not just going to the store and getting toys all the time. Outside of your birthday and Christmas, like, you don't get toys. And obviously I thought that was a terrible idea. I mean, I felt like that's the worst parenting idea ever. But he was like, here's the deal. I'm going to help you get started so you can earn your own money. And when you have money, you can buy anything you want. And so what he did is he bought me, I'll never forget it, he bought me a little wagon, and he bought me a can crusher. He said, I'm going to give you these two things, and you can pay me back for these two things, and then every dollar you make past that is yours in profits. And so then I went around in the neighborhood, like the neighborhood stuff. I think I was 6 or 7. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was 6. And I went to the neighbors' houses and obviously asked if I could pick up all their cans. And they would write their name on this notebook, and they'd tell me the day that they were going to have the cans ready for me to pick up. So every day of the week I had somebody's stuff to pick up. And I did this for months. And I realized, like, as I kept growing, if I go to more houses, I get more cans, right?
Yep.
And we got to the point where I had so many cans, like, literally we lined them up in the driveway. My dad ran them over with his truck. Like, it was awesome. I remember that. Like, that's one of my favorite memories. Like, my dad just running these cans over for me with his truck. So that way I didn't have to crush them all, So anyways, we fast forward, we get, big enough where I'm getting busy enough where I can't either I got lazy or I couldn't do it all. I couldn't remember, but I was 6 or 7 at this point. I hired the neighbor kid. I realized, like, if I pay the neighbor kid a small portion of it, I don't have to do as much of the, like, going out and picking the cans up.
Yep.
Well, that's all good and dandy until the neighbor kid stops picking up the cans, and you have to fire the neighbor kid. So I fired the neighbor kid at 7 years old. I remember that. And my favorite thing about firing the neighbor kid, this is my favorite part about it. It wasn't firing the neighbor kid. It was the fact that neighbor kid's mom came over and yelled at my dad. I will never forget that. She came over yelling at my dad, told him that your son fired my son. What are you going to do about it?
Nothing, because he didn't earn his
That's
role.
what my dad told her. My dad said he should have done his job.
Right, for sure.
And needless to say, the neighbor lady and my dad didn't get along great. So,
It happens.
but yeah, like, I think about that, and, like, long story short here is, like, that mindset that, my dad put into me in an early age that you have to go out and earn this, right?
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. Like, I remember the first time I made like $125, and at 7-year-old, that's a lot of money.
Oh, heck yeah.
We went to Target. My dad let me spend every penny of it. Like, buy whatever you want. It's your money. He told me to put it in my drawer and save it. of course, I wasn't saving crap. I took it to the store.
But you can also learn a lesson from that too.
So that's the problem. Yeah.
Because
so
then your money's gone, and next
Correct.
week you want something else.
that was the lesson I learned. I bought some toy.
Yep.
And I don't remember what the toy was. Like, to this day, I do not remember what the toy was. But my dad tells the story great. And he's like, yeah, you were so mad a week later, you wanted to return it because you didn't like the toy anymore. And I told you, no, you're stuck with this toy now. And he goes, you threw the biggest fit ever. Like, I threw a huge fit because my dad wouldn't let me return it. And he's like, nope. He goes, you went back out, started collecting more cans and doing it all over again. And I remember having that business, like that can business. I had it till I was like 12 years old.
That's awesome.
And then when I was 12 years old, I realized like, I'm not going to do cans forever. So then I actually went and did other jobs. But yeah, like I did okay doing that at the time. My dad used to bring me down to the recycling center. We'd fill the back of his pickup truck, just fill it full of like black garbage bags, you know, the big black garbage bags,
Yep.
the 55-gallon ones, like full of cans. And we just would fill my dad's truck. And then once I filled the truck, then my dad would take me there. Like if I had enough cans to fill it, he'd take me to the recycling plant.
See, this is a great teaser for episode 1 of Stories with JB.
Dude,
Because you guys going back and forth about this would be awesome.
Oh, I wish he would come on the show and tell these stories because he has like that's just one of like obviously he has 6 kids, you know,
Yeah.
obviously 3 blood children, 3 from a second marriage.
Sure.
But he has, I mean, I'm just one child. And that's one of the stories I remember. Like you think of, he has those stories about every kid, you know, like
That'd be awesome.
yeah, it's cool. Like, but it's the mindset thing again. Going back
For
to a
sure.
mindset
Yep.
reset. Like, it's so easy to like spoil your kids, is it not?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yep.
and I always joke like, as a kid, I thought it was a terrible idea, but now as a parent, like, yeah, heck yeah, Dad, that was
for
smart parenting. So I do it to my kids. I do stuff to my kids and make them earn things. And like, I love it because I hear them say, "My friends don't have to do this." You're right.
You're right.
Your friends' parents love them more than me. Like, what do you want me to say to you? Like, I don't know. Like,
And also, when your friend is 16, he's going to be an entitled a-hole that thinks he deserves everything. So
yeah.
you'll understand this when you're 16.
For the record, I love my kids. I just want everybody to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
that. Like, but no, it's it's just like funny, like how it changes who you are, right?
Absolutely.
And it like without that lesson, where would I be? Like it taught me about earning it, and nobody owes me anything. Like my dad doesn't owe me anything. You can earn this yourself. And like I learned that at 7 years old. So as I got older, I never expected my dad to pay anything. Like if my dad paid for something, I was like, are you sure? Like really? Like it wasn't an expectation. Like I just learned I had to be responsible in that. So it's one of my favorite stories to tell. But it goes back to that mindset reset. Like you really need to reset your mind when you start getting down. Your luck's bad, right? You're having something going on. Like reset your mind. Take a moment, clear your head, get reset. Whatever you got to do, you know, for me, it's, you know, going and, you know, I find motivational quotes. I'm really big on that. I read books on motivation and just try to find ways to like refocus yourself in because it's a bad day, not a bad week, not a bad month. Like just reset yourself, get back after it. And honestly, like, remember, nobody owes you anything. You're going to earn what you earn. And the harder you work, the more you're going to achieve.
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
No, but I do want to add the fact that you love reading books so much. I really, really dislike reading, but audiobooks are sweet. I love listening to audiobooks.
You made an assumption there.
Oh, you listen to those too?
You made an assumption that I love to read. No.
Oh, okay. But
I
you
do
can
not.
sit down and read a book is what you're saying.
I can sit down and read a book if it can grab my attention. The problem is if the first like page doesn't get me, I'm audiobook for sure.
See, I can read 30 pages and then think back and be like, what did I just read? Because I didn't like take it in. So if I
Yep.
listen to it, it's like, it's way different. And it's
Yeah, I'm the
just-
same way. Especially like I like to listen to when I'm driving.
Yeah.
I know that's Taylor Swift time for you.
Yeah.
But for me, it's actually like listening
What
to
if she has audiobooks? Maybe she should read. I would listen to every single audiobook she recorded if she is an audiobook reader.
Maybe after she's done singing, she'll become an audiobook.
I love
Narrator.
Rodney's reaction from the back row back there. He just got like that little wry smile on his face, like he doesn't want to be mean to me about it. And he's looking like he understands, but he really doesn't.
She's actually emailing Taylor Swift right now asking if she'll read books for you. It's story
That'd make
time
my
for
day.
Nick.
She's too busy hanging out with Travis,
With Travis.
not
TK?
our guy Travis Kelsey.
No, TK.
Yeah, TK.
So yeah, anyways, like I said, you know, if you're having a tough week, mindset reset. Like time to do it. Get yourself where you need to go. Right?
Correct.
The internet is broken. So let's talk about the internet. My personal fave.
Let's do it.
Fun story this week, going back to racing. There's a
Oh,
racetrack that reopened in Minnesota. Brand new racetrack. Well, not brand new. Brand new-ish again. It closed. Right? The owner that owned it shut it down. So it's like the lost racing, right? That's one of the biggest things, like racetracks closing because of either people moving too close to them and then complaining about the noise, or, just not enough people supporting it, whatever, right?
Yep.
And so racetracks close. It's not uncommon to have racetracks open and close. And this racetrack closed like 3-4 years ago and hasn't raced in 3-4 years. It's in a relatively small community. And this friend of mine actually purchased it. So she and her husband are now running the track. And so,
Is it that one?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, yes, you know what I'm talking about, 'cause she probably messaged
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's funny.
So, anyways, they opened for the first time this last Sunday, and when they opened the track, mind you, they haven't raced in 3+ years,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
I can only imagine like the amount of maintenance and things you have to do to a race. Like I've never done that. I've never restored a racetrack from like being out of business, right?
So you just don't throw some dirt down and go racing?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably guess like you have to probably pull rocks or pull weeds and pick rocks
for
and
sure.
all the things that go into the earth, when you're not using it for a 3-year span. And then you think about like the billboards and the electrical and all of the stuff that like you just don't use it, it's not gonna like stay in tip-top shape, right?
Just magically go back
Right.
to what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not magically delicious.
Yep.
And so, anyways, they get their track up and running this last Sunday. And like I was reading the comments online, there was like only a handful of people. Like there was a lot of people supporting them. But somebody's comment, the thing that got me was a 30-minute intermission is unnecessary. And I was like, man, they've been closed for 3.5 years.
That's not that long.
Like they probably needed a little time to catch their breath, right? I mean, they're getting something. And like, people were complaining that like they couldn't hear on the speaker system. Again, they've had 3+ years off. They're probably going to find some bugs
Yep.
in the system, right?
Now, if they reopen and it's been 2 years since they reopened and there's still some issues,
Right. That's what I'm
maybe
saying.
then there's. Maybe there's.
Yeah, if in
time.
2 years they've been racing
Yeah.
every Sunday and they still have the same, like, okay,
But the first darn day back.
the first day
Jeez.
back, I'm like, internet is broken. Like,
It's terrible.
the fact that you go online and just trash this business, like, for one, be grateful they opened it because you have somewhere to go on a Sunday now, and the town has the economic, windfall of that, right? Because think about it, like the tailwinds of, hey, now racers are coming to this town that weren't coming there for a while. What does that mean for the gas stations and the restaurants and everything else along the way, right?
Yep. Yep.
But no, let's complain that the intermission was an extra 15 minutes longer than it probably needed to be because they're trying to like probably catch their breath.
That reminds me of one of my Facebook memories that I just saw yesterday.
Mhm.
When I was back working at the golf course, and like obviously weather happens, right?
Right, it happens.
So you blow the horn, put the note on the cart saying, "Hey, there's weather coming in. Get off the golf course."
Wait, what?
Well, yeah, you take them off the golf course. So there's like thunderstorms coming. It's gonna be lightning and stuff.
Do you guys
'em
have to like go out there with a horn?
We do. Well, we had like GPS screens on the cart, so we could send a message.
No.
But if you don't have that on the carts, you go out and blow a big air horn that's really loud, or there's horns around the course that you can blow so they know to come in.
So how am I supposed to know that's what I'm supposed to do?
Well, because it's not going to go off if it's, well,
You just said I know, but I didn't know. So if I'm out there golfing and I'm on the 13th,
and you hear a big air horn.
I would have been like, sweet,
inside.
some guy's screwing with an air horn. I would have teed off on the 13th.
Well, now you know.
I feel like you guys should be handing out pamphlets at the beginning of this
Well,
thing.
most people that spend any small amount of time on a golf course know what it means. But anyways, back
So
to-
my life is less valuable than the guy who spends more time there.
oh,
Got it.
I mean,
Okay, continue.
don't pay attention. I mean,
Nope,
that's
I figured it out now.
Anyways, so we did this one day, called
Yep.
everybody in, and you get a small group of people that are like, the sun's still out. You just call this in so we'd sit in here and buy beer and food, blah, 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 blah.
You're like, is it working?
And there's, well, you got a beer at work. You spent your $5 on that beer, right?
Yeah.
And they continue to gripe. And then 10 minutes later, I took a picture of outside, and there's rain everywhere. Everybody's inside. Everybody's dry. Nobody got hit by lightning. Nobody got killed by lightning. But they just complained because we took them out the course when it was still sunny out, because it was going to take them 10 minutes to drive in, but they got in time to be safe. That's another one of those things where somebody complained about something that was really
For trying to help
unnecessary.
them, yeah.
Like trying to keep you safe. Like,
Yeah.
it's not any underlying thing of wanting you to spend more money. Like, I'm not forcing you to buy a beer. I don't care if you buy a beer or a hot dog.
You could have gone home.
Sure.
Yeah,
Pack
we don't
yourself up
care.
and leave. I don't care.
Yeah, like we weren't
But
telling
still,
you
it's
to come.
like the same type of thing where like you're doing the right thing to try
Right.
to help people out or make it better for people and
Crazy.
find something.
internet
to
is
complain.
broken.
It's broken for sure.
Broken.
That was like 8 years ago. It's been broken for a long
Been
time.
broken a long time there, brother. All right. Customer comments and questions. today's question number 1.
Should get a button for that.
Oh, we should.
Question number 1.
Question 1. Oh, what if we use like the voice change? Do we have that thing on here still? I don't think we do. I think you got. Oh yeah, it is right here. Ready? I could be like. Question. One. Is that one good? Or
Yeah,
this one?
yeah.
How
We're trying to add 5 minutes to the show.
How about this
listening
one?
to the echo.
Question 1.
How about that one?
That's kind of cool. A little bit tinny.
Question 1.
Oh,
No, not as
what's the
good.
one that makes you sound like a gopher?
I don't know. I was trying to figure that. Maybe this one.
Hello? Nope. Hey, question 1. I like this voice. I'm going to stick with this one. So, question 1. Reeded doors warping. I can't do this. This is.
I just meant to say it for like question number 1.
I know. I was
That
just.
he was right.
I just got excited by it.
Well, there goes anybody that was left
Yeah,
listening.
they're
all
gone.
now.
Everybody just left. See ya, everybody. I don't know. We have some really cool voice changing things on here, but anyways, reeded doors warping is what this has to do with it. We had a customer that says it'll be interesting to see what happens with time. Let's talk about the fact. Let's talk about it here a second that our doors have not warped to this point. So, we were really like, what I mean by that, I gotta back up. That was a really sloppy start to that question.
I'm
so
confused.
yeah, I'm sorry. I realized I confused everybody at this point. So we did a video with Sean on reeded doors, and somebody made a comment on there about how the reeded doors are going to warp.
Sure.
And my point is saying, and they made a comment, it'll be interesting, when I told them like ours haven't warped, and they said, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with time. And of course, like we agree, it's interesting to see anything with time, but we're not door manufacturers here. Let me be very clear on that. Like, it's very possible that the door could warp on us. We aren't door manufacturers. I'm showing you what you can do with a machine. And one of the things that you can produce with a CNC machine is reeded doors. And now people who do this professionally use specific material and specific, finishes to assure the best quality possible. I didn't finish the door. I built a reeded door down there and put it together, and that's just how it sits. But fast forward how many months it's been since we built the reeded doors, it still hasn't warped.
It is not.
So, just answering that. So, you're right. It's possible it could warp, I guess, but
I'm sure there's a lot of factors that go into that, right? Like
Right.
quality material,
Yeah.
conditions it's being put in.
and I feel like if you do it right, it's not going to warp.
Right.
There's a reason why people can build cabinets out of wood, right? They don't all warp because of the fact they're using the right materials and the right finishes.
For sure.
So, that's just kind of my comment regarding that question. Another person. Oh, go ahead.
Question number 2.
Oh, I forgot. I was supposed to hit the button. I got you. Hold
Question 2.
on. Cool video. Well shot and informative. Somebody posted on one of our videos. It was on specifically the closet video with Sean. And honestly, appreciate the comment, but I want to talk about that video because the purpose of that video was really to help people understand that you can do more with these machines than just cutting cabinets. I think a lot of people lose sight of that. They're cabinet shops. There's so many cabinet shops out there that only build cabinets. And me and Sean were talking about this a little bit. There's a huge industry for closets. Really, like he was saying, like every house that gets built, it's not just the cabinets, but it's the closets too.
Yep.
And you have the ability to sell this into people's homes, and you're already in there building the cabinets, or you're bidding on the cabinets. Put yourself out there for bidding on the closets as well. There's a whole bunch of work that you could take on that you're otherwise letting them pass on to somebody else.
For sure. Might as well get, every piece of cabinetry or closetry you can put in there, right?
What
No
blows,
reason to skip.
yeah, what blows me away is Sean said that he gets bid requests, and the bid request packet that comes out will specifically call it the cabinets that he's supposed to quote, but doesn't mention anything with the closets. And then the closets will actually have its own bid package to a different company.
So does he try to do both?
Yeah, so he's like, I always offer to do them together and save the person money, but it blows me away that he's saying that a lot of people just won't bid on it.
Because they just don't know.
They just,
right?
yeah, they just bid on the closet or the cabinets and they forget about the closets. And so somebody else is getting equally as big of a share of the project as they are. And as he mentioned, sometimes more because they go to some big name companies. There's a lot of big closet companies out there that people recognize, and they spend a premium for the name versus being able to have the same person that built their kitchen be able to build that.
Yep. And how often does the smaller guy put out better work and more quality than bigger names that are just doing quantity, right?
I agree with that 100% because you can customize it. Like me and Sean were talking about, when we were building the ones in the showroom there, he's like, you can customize this to like what your needs are. So we were joking about how like we were talking about how my wife just needs more closet space all the time. Too many clothes.
Yep.
But I told him, like, if you could build a closet, then you could build a spot where my race suit hangs up. He's like, yeah. He's like, we can build. He's like, we've built it for, for like women's dresses. We build a slide out.
Sure.
So all the dresses fit in the same area, but then you slide it out versus spreading them out over the whole, so it saves them a bunch of room. And I was like, well, that's cool. And he's like, yeah. He's like, we can customize to your specific tailored needs. So, he's like, guys who have a lot of dress shoes or gals who have a lot of shoes, like they do slide out drawers that all the shoes fit in there nice. But when you slide them in, they compact them without squishing them.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, it's things that people just don't really know about or think about.
Right.
So it's nice to have, obviously, that option when you have a machine that can do those things.
That's what he said.
easily for you.
He's like, people don't realize it. Like the software they're using already for the cabinets have closet stuff built right into it. He's like, I don't even have to like design a thing. He's like, I just type in dimensions. And he goes, and all these features are already built into the software.
That's
I
pretty
can
awesome.
output it. He was showing like Mosaic has a bunch of cool features in it. And to be able to do that with the same machine that has a cabinet, or cabinet capability. So as a cabinet shop, you've always built cabinet boxes, right? Now you add a CNC machine and you have the ability to have versatility to not just build cabinets anymore, but now you can get into things like closets.
It's awesome.
So if you haven't checked that video out, go check it out because as they say, it's a cool video.
Cool.
Well shot, and it's very informative.
Good stuff.
All right.
Question 3.
That was a cool one. Come on.
That was good.
That was cool. My work has slowed down. I do not need a machine.
Disagree
Disagree. Yeah, false.
strongly.
Yeah, strongly disagree.
There's no better time to get one.
Right, and that's honest to God truth. Like, I'm glad you're saying it because that's where I was going with this, is that was a comment we saw from somebody. It was an email we got, of course, somebody looking at a machine, and they said, oh, my work slowed down a little bit. I don't need a machine right now. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that is the worst thought process for the future of your business. Because for one, unless you're telling me you are going out of business, you're going to have work, right? Though, even if it's the same workload you had before, the machine is far more efficient than doing it by hand.
It's slowed down. It hasn't stopped.
Correct. And that's my thing is, so yeah, okay, maybe you aren't going to run the machine at its full capacity, which I guess is good because it gives you ability for versatility to get into things, like you said, closets, right? Doors, drawers, whatever you're going to do. But
And just the time to learn. Like learn the machine and learn how to do the things you want to do, right?
preach. I love it because that's the truth. Like, so many people, they wait till like hair on fire, crazy. Oh my God, I'm so busy. I need a machine. And then it's like, well, I can't learn to run it now.
Right.
Because you only learn to use it the way that one project required, right? Yep. So I got 100 sheets to do, so I'm going to learn it this way. Like, you aren't going to experiment when you have 100 sheets of material that have to be done in an hour, right?
Right.
Like, you're not going to play around. You're going to just try to crank things out. And so
that's when mistakes are going to, inevitably you're going to make mistakes that then cause you more time and more delay in getting those things done, right?
yeah, that's what ends up damaging material and breaking bits, right? It's because you weren't able to like work your way into it. And so I've always said, like, the best way to learn is when you aren't under extreme pressure, right?
So you can take that extra hour a day to put
Right.
into learning,
Spend the time.
or taking the time to draw something or whatever.
Learn the software, learn the nuances of the software, figure out what things exist. How many pieces of technology have you used in your life where like you've owned it for many months before you figured out like a really cool feature of it?
Probably every single piece of technology I have.
Right. My iPhone is a
There's
perfect
probably a
example.
thing on that phone that I don't even
Right.
know what it does right now.
Yeah, there's things that I've learned on my iPhone, and I've had an iPhone since they first came out. And I'm like, wait, it does this? Like, you start to figure it out. But it's like, if you could just spend time messing around with it and not being under the pressure of having to use it, right?
Yeah.
So, for one, because it slowed down is a good time to invest because it allows you to build your business around this technology. But two, you don't have an abundance of work stacking up at that point, right?
Yep.
So that means profitability now matters more than ever. Does it not?
For sure.
So if it takes me an hour to cut it by hand, but I can cut it in 5 minutes with a machine, does that not seem like a good investment, especially if things are a little slower?
100%. And then when you get back to being busy, it's still going to feel like you're a little bit slower because you're so efficient with doing what you're doing.
Correct. There's a fun story I tell on that. We had a gentleman who bought a machine from us during a slower time. He had purchased it, and he's like, I have the work. He's like, I know that I need to get into CNC automation. And so he bought a machine, and he was running this business, and a year later, he called me up. And he kind of gave me a hard time right away. He's like, it was the worst decision I ever made, I thought. And I was like, oh, no. Like, what happened? And he's like, no, I got through the year and I thought to myself, I am not busy enough to have a CNC machine. And then he goes, then I did my taxes. And my tax guy reminded me that I was far more busy this year than I had ever been in my life. He goes, I made more money this year than I ever made, but I felt like I was less busy. And it was simply because the machine took all the stress and the pain off it. So as he was growing and he took on this business, he could take on jobs he otherwise probably would have turned down.
For sure.
Because he never had the bandwidth previously, where that's the thing people lose sight of when they're saying like, oh, I've slowed down a little bit. This is a perfect opportunity for you to go sell jobs now.
Yep.
Because you have tools and capabilities that you otherwise didn't have.
And you can go to those people and say, hey, guess what? I told you it's going to take 2 months to get you your cabinets or your kitchen. I'll have it to you in a month now because I have this new piece of equipment that can do it in twice as fast as I was doing it before.
Wasn't Sean just saying they're 7 months out right now?
Something like that, yeah.
Like, think about that.
That's
People are
crazy.
like, I don't have, I can't justify a machine. And there's shops out there with a machine that are 7 months out.
It speaks for itself. I mean, yeah.
If you build it, they will come, right? Isn't that what they say?
Absolutely. Yep.
Field of Dreams.
That is it.
Question 4.
The best one.
Never gets old. Do you ever post project files so we can try them out too? Yes and no. That's the answer to that
That's
question.
pretty open-ended.
Yeah. We had somebody post, they wanted the project file for one of the cabinets we built. We don't necessarily give out general files. No. It's not something we provide, mainly because a lot of the files that we're running on those are out of Mosaic. They're custom built specifically for the subscription. It's not something we're going to give out to people. It's not right. The subscription for Mosaic is something Mosaic makes money off of. We're not going to give their business away. So out of respect for them, the answer is no there. But we do give files away on things that we create, files we own. So as an example, the dinosaur. When we did the dinosaur file, we created that. It was ours. We owned it. I shouldn't say we. Router Bob, the man, the myth, the legend, created it. He made it available so we could give it to customers. So it absolutely exists in those type of situations. As an example, the torsion box. We got a lot of people asking for that torsion box that Sean created. That file is not available. It's something that was a purchased file. Somebody else owns the file. We customize the file to put Shop Saver on the side of it, but it's not something that we can just give you. Somebody else's business owns it. So as much as we'd love to just give it away, there are certain caveats within being able to do that. But if we own the file, absolutely. We'll give it to you, let you run with it. Saber Nation, there's a bunch of tutorial videos that we've done that show off how to do something. And in those videos, a lot of times we'll give you the file. But a simple answer is, yes, we'll give you the file if we own it. No, we're not going to give you every file. Does that seem legit?
Perfect answer. Yep.
And the real thing is here, that's a benefit to owning a Shop Saver.
Yeah.
You have tech support. They'll help you.
For sure. Not to mention the private owner groups where a lot of guys talk about how they do things and how they run projects and help each other with files. So you get that help as well. Got the seed out.
I got the seed out of my tooth.
Nice.
I
Shouldn't eat popcorn while you do the show.
know.
Then you
Just-
wouldn't have that happen.
So entertaining to sit here and listen to you talk.
When I can get in a word in edgewise.
Easy, salmon. But no, I mean, the user group's another awesome opportunity for you to get files because people share files like crazy in there too. Like crazy.
Right. And not necessarily even just sharing, but helping people with small issues that they have with their files that they're working on.
Yeah. There was a really cool sign recently. Somebody posted. I don't remember if you saw it or not. Or I don't remember. I don't know why I said I don't remember.
The red,
I
white,
don't know
and
if
blue
you
one?
saw- Yeah, the red, white, and blue
it
one.
was cool.
That was pretty sweet.
That was kind of the one I was referring to where that guy was helping people with the file or getting them the file so they could do some on their own.
I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. I love that they share things across the group, help each other, be better with the machine.
For sure.
So did I miss anything today?
I don't think so. Not
I
that
really
can
want to
see.
use that button one more time. I wish I had another question. But
Make one up.
yeah, just make one up, right? New question of the day. No. So anyways,
What's your
this
favorite
week's
color?
motivational quote. How dare you?
I stepped right over it.
Let's try again. This week's motivational quote. God, we look like we're just a clown unit over here today. We just are out of control.
I mean,
We kind of are. We kind of are. Not gonna lie to you. Yeah, this week's motivational quote. I can is 100 times more important than IQ. Let's say it again. I can is 100 times more important than IQ. And what that means is those who work the hardest achieve the most. You don't need some fancy degree or, you don't need a bunch of skills that I went to school for that. Doesn't necessarily make you better than a person who's just willing to grind it out.
for sure.
Some of the most intelligent, some of the best businessmen I've ever met in my life never went to school. Never went to college, never went and got some fancy degree.
I think you can learn a lot more doing things hands-on and working through things than just going and paying attention in class for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying, I'm not against school. My
No,
wife's a
not at
teacher.
all. Yeah.
Loves school. My wife's a teacher. I support it. Go get your education. But my point being is don't let the fact that you don't have some fancy degree slow you down. How many people just automatically defeat themselves because, well, he's got a master's and I don't?
Right. That's fine. I mean, school's not for everybody.
Right?
You can still be a good employee, somebody that's successful.
Go out, work them.
Absolutely.
Work ethic, that hustle, right? Just got to outwork people around you. That's what I've always said is, your IQ doesn't necessarily make you successful. You can be the smartest person in the world, but you can go nowhere with it by expecting your IQ to carry you.
You are correct, sir.
How many people have done really good on the SATs and, ACTs and they don't go anywhere with it, right?
Right.
And there are people that didn't take the SATs or ACTs, Brandon Bobardo, and
Same.
I've considered myself fairly successful in my career. Like I enjoy what I do, but I never even took them.
Right.
I went to community college.
Everybody has their own path.
Yeah. Like you don't have to go to a fancy college, right? Community college. Represent Rasmussen.
Or no college.
I didn't finish it, just for the record. I realized halfway through it that I was not going to go for law enforcement anymore.
It's just not for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
So
We get to live our own life and make
Yeah.
our own choices.
I can is 100 times more important than IQ.
Never want to be the smartest man in the room.
Don't have to be the smartest. You know what? I've read. Did I tell you about the one last week? Did I say it? If you're the smartest man in the room, you're standing in the wrong room.
I feel like you did say that.
Did I
heard
say
At
that?
some point
That's
last
my
week,
favorite.
yeah.
I've been using that one now. That's like my new one. It's my hot button.
Which button is it?
The hot one.
Oh.
I don't know which button's the hot one on here. I was trying to hit the button for the voice, but I've already lost it. So let's just move on. This week's audience question. Ready? Take it away, Nick.
Would you rather own a product that is very cheap with no support or warranty, or a product that is expensive and has superior support and warranty?
Ooh. One more time for me. Read that question one more time.
Would you rather own a product that is cheap with no support or warranty, or would you rather own a product that is expensive and has superior support and warranty?
Expensive.
For sure.
I'm taking expensive all day long.
Get what you pay for.
Agreed. And it's not get what you pay for to me as much as it's I want that support and warranty. I want the person that's going to back it for me. I don't want cheap. Like if I want it cheap, I can just go buy things from China, right?
Right.
And I throw them away and I just buy another one and I don't expect a lot of results of them. But for me, like I'd rather just buy once, cry once, right? Is that the phrase?
That's what Travis says.
I hear Travis say it
4 times a day.
Yeah, I hear him say it, but it's the truth.
It's
though.
true. It is true.
Like I would rather buy, Shop Saver is a perfect example of this, right? We are not the cheapest product on the market. I will never be the cheapest product on the market as long as I am involved with this company.
But would you rather spend, just throwing a number out, would you
Yeah.
rather spend $50,000 on something that's going to last you 10 plus years, or would you rather spend $20,000 on something you have to buy 5 times in 10 years?
Correct.
I mean, do the math. It's simple.
And that's exactly it. That's why my mentality, I was going to go there with my thought process. It's like Shop Saver for us, it was built on quality because we want the product to last. But as a consumer, I would rather not have to reshop all the time.
For sure.
Because there's nothing more frustrating in my life than like being dependent on a product and it fails and it affects your life, right? A simple thing that people I think overlook is washing machines, right? Your washing machine at your house. Is it not the most inconvenient thing in the world when the washing machine goes down?
For me, it is.
Right. Well, I mean, seriously, you don't think about it, but it's like you just get so frustrated because you're like, oh, I got a load of laundry to do and I can't do it because the washing machine's down. Like you just get frustrated. And it's like, I have learned to just stop trying to buy the cheapest model possible, buy the nicer model, and then I don't have to deal with all the problems.
100%.
And
I'm with you.
If nothing else, like I said, you buy a decent one and it comes with a decent warranty. When something does go wrong, they take care of you.
Yep.
And that's what I think is the most undervalued thing there is like, as an example, my truck, I purchased the extended warranty with my truck. Yeah, it cost me more money, right? It could have been easy to go cheap and not buy, but you know what? I never had to worry. Like if I have any questions, I could just call the dealership. I know they take care of me. Like I'll get a rental car if I needed it. And they did it. They did all of that for me when my truck had a problem. I'm out of warranty now. Had it for many years, but
it's a good sense of security while you have it, right?
correct. And that's my thing is it allows me to grow the business. It allows me to grow my future without the concern that one burden can really disrupt my growth.
Yep.
Because I think that's what people lose track of, especially in business when you're buying equipment and people look at like buying used machine or looking at buying, a cheap machine or, cheap tools versus more expensive tools. Like these aren't throwaway tools. You're not throwing away this like a wrench, you have a bad wrench and the wrench breaks and you only spent $3 on it. So you throw it away. That's not a big deal. But you spent $30,000 versus spending $60,000.
Yep.
You're not throwing $30,000 away. So now you're forced, you feel obligated that you have to at least keep it working. And the problem is the company that's supposed to support you probably doesn't care a whole lot because they sold on price, not on value.
Yep.
They're on to the next guy, the next $30,000. They don't care who you are.
And then by the time you put the money into replacing things or fixing things, you're almost up to the cost of what you could have just got a new, perfectly functioning one to begin with, right?
Right. And that's the thing is like when you start losing business because of it and you start, just struggling, like your employees get pissed off because it doesn't run right. Like it costs you far more in the long run. And I think that's where people lose sight of that. So for me, easy answer, I'd rather own something more expensive, but have that superior support and warranty. That's super important to me. Now I know that we're going to get people, I think this is going to go 50-50. I think you're going to see people that are going to be willing to buy cheap stuff, but
I mean, there's certain things you can buy.
I won't.
I
hate it.
there's certain things though that are not.
You can buy the
like,
cheap toilet paper? You know what happens then?
No,
Your
then
finger
you
pokes through.
But like store brand Captain Crunch, that's half the price. It's pretty darn close to the same.
Does it have as good service though? Does the captain jump out of the box?
No.
Nope.
You pour milk on it the same way and let it get soggy the same way.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's certain things that I'll cut corners on with, but there's certain things that that you have to spend that money on to
Okay,
have.
that's a good point. Because does it change for you on a consumer product versus a tool or technological product?
I mean, I
Consumer
don't-
product in a way of like, do you care which Q-tips you buy?
No.
Do you care which toilet paper?
Yes.
Do you care which food?
Okay, let's put it this way. If it's something like toilet paper that can have an adverse result on your day, then I'm buying the more expensive thing.
Okay,
right?
that's my
I mean,
point.
that's a fair point, though.
Yeah, that's my point though. Like when you think about like how it affects your day, I think it changes your buying mentality.
For sure.
Like
That's
again,
why,
like
that's
you
why
said,
I buy this instead of the other stuff.
what is that?
This is Powerade. That's
Oh.
why I buy this and not the other stuff.
That looked like NyQuil.
Micah stole that from me. I'm mad at it.
I don't know. I look at that like exactly what you said though. If it could have an adverse effect on my day,
Yes.
one being a tool, right? If the tool fails and I can't do my job, that's a risk that I'm not willing to take.
For sure.
As an example, race cars.
I don't have tools because I just call somebody else to do it for me
Fair enough.
because I don't know how to do it.
Fair enough. But for me, like race cars, like I'm not gonna cut corners on stuff that like could be the difference maker in me finishing a race and not finishing a race,
Or surviving a crash or not.
or surviving a crash.
I mean,
Not,
it's,
like
it's not even
safety
be funny.
equipment.
Like
Yeah,
that's the
safety
safety. I mean,
equipment.
that's
Yeah,
the big
I'm
thing.
not gonna cut corners on that stuff. But like, as you said, Captain Crunch, yeah, maybe I'll buy the off-brand.
For sure.
Still tasty.
It's half the price.
It's half the
You could
price.
buy 2 boxes and get twice the happiness for
Twice
one.
the happiness. What are those fudge cookies? Not the Keebler ones, but the other one, the knockoffs.
I don't. There's certain. I mean,
You know what I'm talking about, though.
those are. I don't know if you can buy. Like
They're
you can't
so
buy.
good.
You can't buy knockoff Oreos. It's not the same.
Aren't they? I've never had them.
They're not.
I just buy Oreos.
I don't think they are.
Double stuff or single stuff?
Yellow cookies, double stuff vanilla. Chocolate cookies.
Vanilla?
Chocolate cookies are trash.
I love vanilla.
Dude, the yellow cookies are the only ones to buy.
I got hooked on them recently, and I didn't realize how great they are. I didn't know what I was missing out on.
They're the best. And
They're pretty good.
Although the Slims are really good too.
No,
the
too much
reg-
cookie.
No, but see, that's where you're wrong. That's like the holiday shaped peanut butter cups. Those are the best ones. Where are the regular ones?
I think we're hungry. We're both talking about food a lot today.
I mean, it's just the things that I know.
You just know food? Is that what you're saying?
Food and toilet paper, apparently.
Listen up. I'm here for the food.
Yes.
I wanted to push the button one more time. Sorry.
I got a new smoker yesterday.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, is it bigger?
Yeah, like 3 times bigger
So you can make more meat?
for sure.
Solid. When are you making meat for the office?
Well, when do you want it? Monday.
Nope, not Monday. I got a meeting Monday.
That's right.
I don't know. We'll figure that date out.
We will figure that out. Let's decide what we're gonna have.
I want pulled pork sandwiches again.
Okay, fair. That's easy.
That was bomb.
All
You
right.
made some pulled pork last time.
I can do that. Hell, I could fit enough in there now to feed this whole damn company.
Let's do it.
That'd be sweet.
Let's feed the
Actually,
company. Let's do it. Round them up.
Fair enough.
I'm not paying for it.
So 12 of them. It's only like $10 a piece.
Just kidding. I'll pay for it.
Okay.
Yeah, we should do that.
I'm
That's a good
down.
idea. We should seriously
For sure, I'm down.
start in the. Well, how long does it take?
Like 16 hours.
Start it the day before.
Yeah.
Just leave her running.
Yeah.
Nice, and then bring it in.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, I like this.
Wait, but then I gotta haul the thing here?
No, cook at your house.
Oh, and then just bring it.
Just bring the food here.
Okay, that's fair.
Not the. I don't need you to bring the smoker. Nobody
okay,
cares.
I was thinking. Just
Nobody wants to watch you make the meat. They just want to eat the meat.
that's fair.
I'm not patient enough for 16 hours.
Yeah,
Sorry,
see, I
man.
can just plan it so that it's done at like 6 a.m. Put them all in a big cooler.
Yeah,
Bring them in here. You can just rip it all apart and
let's do it.
have a party.
Yeah, just buy those bear claws things.
I have like 4 of them.
Oh, really?
Trust me.
Yeah, because I use my bare hands.
No, dude, you burn the hell out of your hands.
Yeah, I did it one time.
Not
Not a good idea. I used a bunch of knives.
And it stays like super hot for like hours.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
I'm pumped.
I'm down.
There we go. We figured it out. So,
It's the most positive or the most not weird thing that's come out of this whole conversation today.
stay tuned.
Oh, fair enough.
Final thought. What's your final thought on today, Nick?
It's gonna storm tomorrow.
It's going to storm tomorrow. My final
It's
thought
getting
is
really humid outside. I hate the humidity.
Is it?
I hate the humidity.
I wasn't out there.
If it could be 65 and sunny all year round, I would love it.
Yucky.
Move to San Diego, right?
Yucky. Yeah. Well, my final thought is stay positive. Let your mindset be positive. Let your mindset control your future. You know, get into success mode, right? Think about where you're going, how you're going to get there. Invest in yourself. It's time. Like, you're halfway through this year. 2024 is halfway over at this point.
I think it's 28 Mondays until Christmas.
28 Mondays till Christmas. Wow, that's crazy. That seems further away than I thought. 28 seems like a big number.
We're already halfway through the year, man. It was. Just,
I know. It's just
it was
crazy though.
winter time.
I don't know why, but
Almost fall.
it's okay. I'm okay with it. Let's get this rain out of here. It rained too much this summer.
What would you rather have? 95 and humid or snow?
95 and humid.
Oh my God, you're wrong.
I would take it all day long.
Jeez, yuck.
95 and humid. I can go in the AC, not have to shovel.
Not trying to be negative.
95 and humid.
No,
Let's go.
you're wrong.
Let's go. Okay, that's my final thoughts. I got nothing else with that unless you got something else to finish with.
No, I don't. Just setting the alarms on my phone to be sure I'm at the airport again tomorrow.
Fair enough. And with that, you know what? As always, we appreciate each and every one of you listeners. Otherwise, without you, we're just two everyday normal guys talking to each other across this cheap desk. Isn't that the truth?
That's really funny.
That's the truth.
Has it always said that?
No, that was new this week.
I was going to
That's
say, I'm
a
like,
different one this
that
week.
sounds different. Have I just not been paying attention?
No, came up with that one this week.
Good stuff.
But as always, like I said, we appreciate you guys. And with that, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Nick.
Thanks for talking shop with Shop Saber.